Hello everyone, thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the latest videos. Far from the city, returning to the quiet mountains of the countryside, can a person truly survive on their own out here? The countryside is serene and lush, with clean, refreshing air, but work is scarce. And to make a living here, to live that idyllic rural life, is no easy task at all. Yet the woman in this video, hardworking and capable, relies solely on her own two hands to build a peaceful life in the countryside. Though her days are full of labor, she moves about like a busy honeybee. Her life simple, free, and unrestrained. There's a sense of quiet joy in it all. At times, survival brings pressure, but through her own diligence, she quickly finds ways to overcome hardship. The fertile land of the countryside, it's full of treasures everywhere. Every inch of soil holds opportunity, if only one learns how to see it. Determined to take root in this rural life, Meng Yao, in just half a year, had already achieved remarkable success. They say, live off the mountain when you're near it, and live off the water when you're by it. The saying couldn't be truer. Meng Yao built her own home deep in the mountains, and through gathering wild goods, planting and raising livestock, she created a steady stream of income, enough to make her life rich and fulfilling. Today, Meng Yao cut down a bundle of bamboo and began building a small vegetable garden beside her home. She planted the greens she loved most, so she'd never have to buy vegetables again. After working all morning, she ate a few bananas, resting for a moment. That evening, she planned to go to the fields to catch frogs. Compared to catching turtles, frog catching was much easier, and frogs were far more plentiful than soft-shelled turtles. What's more, they were always popular in the market. As night descended, darkness spread across the land. Everything around her was pitch black. Crickets and frogs sang endlessly, filling the night with their rhythmic chorus, adding endless vitality to the night. Carrying her lantern, Meng Yao prepared all her tools for catching frogs. On this moonless, pitch-black night, she stepped out of her house, heading toward the fields to catch the frogs so beloved by many. The rice fields weren't far from her home. When Meng Yao arrived, she scanned the area carefully. Under the bright beam of her lantern, she quickly caught her very first frog. This is money, she thought, smiling. Meng Yao looked at the frog with satisfaction, then gently placed it into her bag. Without hesitation, she continued catching a second, a third. The darkness of the night was filled with both excitement and unseen danger. Insects, snakes, rats, and unknown creatures lurked nearby. With each step and each catch, Meng Yao moved cautiously, always alert to her surroundings. Safety came first. As the frogs in her bag multiplied, her eyes gleamed with excitement. Though fearless, she remained vigilant, careful not to startle any snakes or rats hidden in the mud. Frogs love living in wet, muddy rice fields. When night falls, their croaking fills the air. Even when they see humans coming, they often stay put motionless in the water. That makes it all the easier for Meng Yao to catch them. During planting season, when rice shoots are set, frogs would gather in groups, hiding in the flooded paddies. Back in the 1980s and 1990s, many children cherished these nights as the best kind of adventure. When darkness fell, they would grab lanterns and head into the fields. And after a few hours, the bags they carried would be filled to the brim with frogs. Those wild frogs were considered a true delicacy. Their meat tender and flavorful, loved by many. For countless people, frogs were a rare countryside treat, a dish worth savoring. Their meat was soft and smooth, tender yet springy to the bite, and rich in protein and nutrients. Is rich in vitamins and minerals, low in fat, and can be cooked in many delicious ways. It can be stir-fried with greens, aromatic spices, and chili peppers, seasoned with rice wine and herbs. The result is a dish bursting with color, aroma, and flavor, so tempting it makes your mouth water at first sight. Even a simple meal of rice feels more satisfying when there's frog meat on the table. At gatherings of friends or family, when this dish is served, people chat, drink, and laugh together. The frog dish adds a special joy to every moment. For Ming Yao, this was truly one of nature's most precious gifts. At that moment, she was carefully approaching another frog. As her hand reached out to grab it, the frog suddenly leapt away, escaping right from her grasp. Ming Yao quickly gave chase, following the frog's quick jumps across the wet ground. Her lantern light danced with her movements, and finally, under its bright glow, she managed to catch the frog at last. It was a plump one, fat and lively. She dropped it into her bag, which was now growing heavy with the weight of her harvest. Still, it wasn't quite as full as she had hoped. There were too few frogs for her liking. At this rate, selling them at the market wouldn't bring in much profit. Straightening her back, she pressed on across the grass, searching for more. The sight of Ming Yao with her lantern, bending, reaching, and moving with quiet determination, was both beautiful and serene. Each time she caught another frog, a smile of joy appeared on her face. A life lived alone in the countryside was peaceful and fulfilling. No quarrels, no competition. She could live exactly as she wished. There are many ways to earn a living. Some choose to work for others. Some start their own businesses. And others work office jobs. But no matter the path, the goal is the same: to earn enough to support oneself and family. Ming Yao's chosen path, however, was the result of her careful thought and determination. Relying on the gifts of the countryside, she carved out a life that truly belonged to her. With no one to depend on, Ming Yao learned to be strong. She learned how to live on her own. Her greatest support was herself. With a healthy body and the will to work hard and think wisely, she would never go hungry. Once upon a time, Ming Yao was sentimental, kind, and eager to help others. Whenever friends or coworkers struggled, she would step forward to lend a hand. But time and again, her kindness was met not with gratitude, but with endless expectations and demands. The moment she refused to help, those same people turned against her. In their eyes, helping others was something Ming Yao simply owed them. Tired of hypocrisy, she chose peace over pretense. Ming Yao would rather live joyfully in solitude, content with her own company, than return to that false and draining world. She decided to move back to her childhood home, the place that held all her memories and her entire childhood. After years surrounded by city lights, she suddenly realized the quiet fields were where her heart truly belonged. Here, every breath of air felt pure and refreshing. Her heart was calm, her sleep peaceful. It was, to her, a paradise hidden from the chaos of the world. To many people, home is simply a place to rest, not to work. But for Ming Yao, this land brimmed with opportunity. With enough hard work and persistence, she could make a good living here too. After nearly an hour of searching and catching, the frogs in her bag grew more and more numerous. What started as an empty sack was now heavy and full. Even Ming Yao herself couldn't believe how many frogs she had caught that night. It felt like a precious gift bestowed upon her by heaven. While others toiled in offices all day, earning a meager 100 or 2, Ming Yao had made just as much or more, simply catching frogs for an hour. She earned far more than just 100 or 2 that night. Of course, not every night would bring such good fortune. In the days to come, Ming Yao would still need to rely on many other ways to make a living and support herself. The darkness of the night may be a shield for the frogs, but for the lantern-carrying Ming Yao, it was a time of harvest, carrying a bag full of heavy, squirming frogs. Her heart brimmed with joy and satisfaction. It was time to head home. After all, it was already quite late. Tomorrow, she still had to go to the market and sell all of her freshly caught frogs. Only when the money was truly in her hands would it count as a real harvest. Back home, she first cleaned the frogs in her bag, tied the sack securely, then filled a basin with water to soak the frogs overnight. This would wash off the mud and grime on their bodies. After such a long, tiring day, even a body made of iron would need rest. So she fell into a deep, peaceful sleep, ready to greet a brand new day. As the sun rose, Ming Yao organized the frogs she had caught and headed for the market. By then, the market was already bustling with people and vehicles. As soon as she laid out her frogs, crowds gathered around her stall. These seasoned shoppers were experts in recognizing quality produce. At a single glance, they could tell that Ming Yao's frogs were fresh and top grade. They rushed to buy them, fearing that if they waited too long, the frogs would sell out. After earning a good profit, Ming Yao returned home, ready to continue her hardworking, peaceful life. She prepared corn feed for her native chickens, feeding them with care and patience. Once this batch grew big and healthy, Ming Yao would once again see the fruits of her labor. Another wave of income earned by her own hands.